for October the
17th.
17th. I was looking at the thing that says minutes of September the 12th. That's a long day. All right. If I could, I ask everybody to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right. We have approval of the minutes of September the 12th, and the adoption of the agenda. Everybody's had an opportunity to review those. I could have a motion to adopt the agenda and approve the minutes.
Motion.
Any other motion? I got a second. Any other questions or concerns, deletions? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Thank you. Okay. We got the student and staff recognition.
Okay, we will start with our Teachers of the Year. This is, I always say this when we do this, this is one of our favorite activities during student staff recognition, because you all know, and our system and our school leaders know, that what happens in our school system is the direct result of what goes on in that classroom each and every day. We've got some high quality teachers that we are going to honor today. And we will start with Drew Lawrence, Coach Drew Lawrence. He is the Jefferson High School Teacher of the Year. Coach Lawrence is married to Brittany Lawrence, a Jefferson Middle School teacher, and you all may recall Brittany was the Jefferson Middle School and the School Systems Teacher of the Year last year. Mr. Lawrence is a graduate of Hilliard High School in Hilliard, Florida. He obtained his associate's degree from Waycross College and his bachelor's degree from North Georgia College and State University. He taught and coached previously with the Hall County school system for 3 years. He came to Jefferson High School in 2018-19, where he teaches special education and ESOL. He serves as the ESOL department head. Drew is an assistant boys basketball and volleyball coach. In 2019, he was named Jefferson High School Assistant Coach of the Year and a 2022 nominee for Georgia's Exemplary ESOL Teacher Award. So congratulations, Drew Lawrence.
Coach Lawrence, it's also a time that you can put in a shameless plug for the volleyball team.
That's right.
Yeah, Saturday.
They're probably summoning him to come and help.
Well, he does. Follows instructions well, too.
He does.
Wife's the head coach.
Yeah.
Don't say. I'm going to say.
All right.
Until
Next
their
we
marriage
have
works.
Miss Janelle Stevenson. She is the Jefferson Middle School Teacher of the Year. Janelle is married to JMS teacher and coach Matt Stevenson, and he is here with her today. They are parents of 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl. Carter and McKinley are both Jefferson High School graduates, and Britton is currently a 10th grader at Jefferson High School. Janelle obtained her bachelor's degree from Emmanuel College and her master's from Walden University. She also has a gifted endorsement. She has coached cheerleading and tennis and has taught for 24 years. She began a teaching career with Jackson County Schools and came to Jefferson Middle School in 2005, 2006, and she teaches 6th grade math. Science. Not yet. She
Started
taught
out
math and science. That's right. She's currently teaching science. All right, I'm going to switch over to Jefferson Elementary School. We have Miss Erica Golding. Erica is married to Nick Golding, the JHS band director and music teacher, the one who provides our entertainment during board meetings. They have 2 children, a 10th grader at Jefferson High School and a 7th grader at Jefferson Middle School. Erica obtained her bachelor's degree from Appalachian State University, her master's from East Carolina University, and her specialist degree from Piedmont. She's had a career that has spanned over several states, as she has taught previously in North Carolina, Florida, and Tennessee. She also taught in the Clark County and Madison County school systems in Georgia. While at Colbert Elementary in Madison County, she was named their Teacher of the Year for 2012-13. She joined the Jefferson Elementary School faculty in 2014-15 and has held a teaching position and has been the media specialist for the last 7 years. She was named JES's Teacher of the Year in 2016-17, so this is not her first time around. So congratulations, Ms. Holden.
Congratulations.
All right, last but certainly not least, we have Timberly McEver from Jefferson Academy, and Timberly is also the Jefferson City School System Teacher of the Year. She is married to Mac McEver, and he is joining her today. She is the mother of 4 children, so 3 boys, 1 girl, Hallie, Trey, Jet, and Brooks. Her mother was the late Dr. Barbara Duke, and an outstanding educator with the Clark County Schools, and many of you know her for her contributions to education. Timberly's entire family, husband, children, and parents are JHS grads. She obtained her bachelor's degree from Brenau University, her master's degree from Piedmont, and specialist degree from Georgia College. Timberly began her teaching career with the Jackson County school system, and she came home to Jefferson in 2013. She has been here since then, with the exception of 1 year with Commerce City Schools. She is an outstanding teacher of 5th grade math. She is extremely creative and has sponsored the Homemade Club, an after-school club that meets to make all things homemade and to give children a creative outlet. She has served on the school leadership team for both the elementary and middle school settings. Timberly is now working on her application and will be entering the contest as an applicant for the state level Teacher of the Year. So congratulations, Timberly.
You couldn't get one of them. Well, y'all go. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all of you.
Oh, yes, that's right.
You just get talking up about it.
All right, we have the DAR winners.
They were all looking in the window.
You guys ready for us?
I've got Miss Webb here from Jefferson Elementary.
I'm not in Jefferson Elementary.
Well, Miss Webb is.
Thanks, Webb.
Right? I'm with James Pittman, Daughters of the American Revolution, and we are thrilled to have you back at the board meeting again. I came last year, didn't you? This is Brandy Pettifer. She's the regent of the Daughters of the American Revolution for James Pittman chapter here in Jackson County. We are thrilled. These are your State of Georgia winners, and they were recognized for that before the Board of Education. Then, and I saw Mr. Marlowe's parents, and I said, I think that's all we got. But guess what? The news came. Yeah, there was a letter from the state of Georgia. Brandy, our regent, thank you for submitting entries into the Junior American Citizen Contest. Your students have made an incredible achievement placing at the national level, the whole nation. Y'all competed against students from all these other schools in the nation, and you won. And so I'm recognizing, and we'll start with our second place winner in the nation. That's Mr. Whitman Marlowe. You step up here. Come up here. This is the stamp design for Junior American Citizen, and this was about NASA. It's an anniversary. And he placed first in the state of Georgia, first in the Southeast, and second place in the nation. We're so proud of you. All right, thank you. And now, I'll get them all together. Okay. And we have those. This banner won first place in the state of Georgia, went on to compete in the southeastern United States, went on to national competition with all the second graders in the nation. First place. We have Amelia Brown. We have Harrison Rainey.
More about the map.
And we have Hosanna Minish. And if you stand behind them, let me get your picture.
Do you want to stand, Miss Benson, and we can get your picture too with them? You good? Okay.
Y'all indulge me just a minute. I'm so proud. Thank you.
Great job. Thank you.
Oh, there's a space shuttle.
The ragged kid bouncing on the walls.
Big old piece of gum, too.
It was a big piece of gum.
A big wad. All right. What else you got?
That's all for student staff recognition.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Unbelievable.
That was a great honor. All right, moving right along, we'll go to our financial report.
Okay. If you can pull up the general fund report. You can see revenue-wise, we have 16.8% of our revenue, which the primary receipts are in the state QBE. The M&O taxes, that's the TABT tax that we collect monthly on vehicle sales. So, as you guys probably will see in the mail in the next day or two, the taxes or bills have been sent out. So, those will be due on December 20th. We hope to start receiving some of that revenue possibly the beginning of December from like escrow accounts. They pay early. And then we'll get the bulk of it by the end of the month, if not the beginning of January. So anyway, that's one of the reasons why we're going to have an action a little bit later on today, is to help us bridge the gap. Expenditure-wise, you can see 27% of the year on expenses. And we ended September's balance, $3,633,501.66. So we're going to be getting lower as we get to the month of November and then December. And you're going to see a board action to approve a TAN, a tax anticipation notice, or a line of credit to help us bridge the gap on that. So it's a value not to exceed a certain dollar value. And we don't anticipate needing the full value, but we just felt like just requesting it, and then we'll just draw what our needs are. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. Do you have any questions on what I have?
If I have any questions about any of those.
Okay.
Well, to see the QBE picking up.
Yeah.
That's, when I first came on the board, we wasn't getting about $3,000 or $4,000 a quarter. Wasn't very much. That
Not
they
very
took
much,
back
yeah.
the meals.
Yeah.
With them, I mean, every meal awards and but,
Local fair share.
Yeah.
It's picked up quite a bit.
It has picked up, yes.
25 years ago.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, we'll go to the special revenue report. This report represents our federal grants as well as pre-K and our school nutrition program. Like I mentioned to you, the grants are always in arrears. In fact, we're actually waiting for a couple of our federal grants to get officially approved and released. So hopefully we'll be able to play a little bit more catch up when we get to the end of October here, as those approvals are slowly being released by the state programmatic folks. And then pre-K, of course, and then school nutrition. You can see before you there. So all in all, running according to plan, and like I said, we're gonna be playing a little bit of catch up in the area with federal grants, so.
Okay. Any questions about that one? All right, hearing none, we'll move right along
We'll
to,
go to splash detail, please. This provides the past 3 months of expenditures out of the splashed account. I'm sure Dr. McMullen shared with you the distribution for the month of September was $523,815, which if you look at the prior year of September of 23, we were $526,000. So we're comparable to September of 23, and of course we're less than August, which was at $560,000. So
explain the insurance.
yeah, the insurance is an insurance claim premium refund that we received back on a claim that we issued to them of $132,000 that offset a payment that we had made of $133,800. So
That had come out of SPOS.
that's right, it came out of SPOS. So that's an insurance claim repayment back in that account.
Okay.
And then you can see the expenses for the month of September. Obviously, the largest one is in the area of the middle school project. And then a couple of the ancillary projects like the storage building that was approved last month for pre-K. I believe that's in effect right now, Ms. Beckwith. As well as the buses, right, Mark? So Mark will tell you a little bit more about those.
Okay.
So we ended the balance $6,087,931.
How'd you get the insurance to pay that quickly? That's a record.
I know, yeah.
You were on them, weren't you?
We were fortunate to submit the information and all the data, and fortunate to see them turn around so quickly.
That's great news.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, you going to projection?
Yes, sir. If you can pull that up. Like I said, this provides you information of where we are today through September, as well as looking at what October through January of 2025 are anticipated based off of the, like I said, the primary, the line is obviously the middle school project. So, and Mr. Moore will give you an update, and they are moving along on that project very well. Mother Nature's being very kind, and because obviously all that work's outside, and I don't see that trend or those numbers changing a whole lot. So, but obviously you can see our balance by the end of January. So we are going to be having to pursue some additional funding, of course, which we're going to be talking about the needs of that as we're trying to solidify some of the information on the high school project, because that's going to be the next line that's coming along. So when we get those numbers solidified, that's when we're going to be approaching the board about what we're going to need to request between the balance of the middle school as well as pursuing the high school and possibly the elementary school as well. Okay.
You may have got any questions about the projection? All right.
And we'll look at the middle school expenses. Again, this information fed into the other report you just looked at, but this is just focusing primarily on the middle school. And you can see on here the actuals that we paid to Carol Daniel as well as Buckley, our architect, and then what the projections are looking like for the next several months on the middle school project. And like I said, we still have, when you look at the bottom line, we got $28.1 million to go as of the end of September, plus 567 from the architect. So a total of basically 28.6, 28.7.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? All right.
All right. And then last but not least, the utility analysis, where we compare the cost of in fiscal year 2025 to 2024's expenses and utilization. Grateful to see that electric number come down over last month. If you remember, last month was pretty hefty. But like I said, you got to remember the time frame that these invoices represent. Usually it's running into the month of August, you know, like it's probably more August than it is September, truly, because of the dates. And if you remember, we were really hot. So anyway, it's good to see those numbers come down. Other than that, of course, water down below, which the rates have gone up from a year ago, so because of the sewage rates, so that's reflected in the cost comparison of the water. So.
All right.
Okay.
Have any questions about any of the utilities? Okay, hearing none, we'll move right along. Transportation report. Mr. Weaver?
Transportation.
Fire away.
All right. Fuel for this month, $15,873.56, down $729.38. Diesel price, $3.28. Gas, $2.79. The bus service and repair, $2,879.18, down $14,594.16 from last month. Total cost of operations, $18,752.74, down $15,323.54 from last month. Transportation Department personnel, all drivers and monitors are in place, and I am knock on wood that we only need one sub driver at this point. You all see the recommendation tonight for a sub driver, and so we're happy to have that. All the bus routes are running. We're running a total of 21 routes, 18 regular air routes, 2 sped routes, and 1 GNet route. Field trips for September was 53 trips. 32 are in Google at present for October. And the recommendations that I have as an action item for the contract for our propane vendor. And the update on the process with the buses, we have them in, radios are being installed today and also being programmed. So once we get that done, we will be just about ready to have them rolling. So we're looking to have them roll possibly next week.
Excellent. Well, good. All right. Anybody got any questions about the transportation report? Well, we're glad to have you with us, Mr. Weaver, and also not driving the bus. And we're glad to get those new buses on the road. That'd be great. All right, we'll go right on into the instructional report.
Okay, you see there at the top, just a reminder of who those wonderful teachers of the year were for each school, and Ms. McEver, our teacher of the year for the school system. Then the next part that you see is our Georgia milestone results for mathematics. Remember, you've seen all the other milestone scores, but the mathematics scores were delayed because they had to do the cut scores again because of the new mathematics standards that were in place last year and the new assessments that came as a result of that. So just as a reminder, there are 4 proficiency levels on the milestones. That's the beginning proficiency level, developing, proficient, and distinguished. The state of Georgia, when we report to the federal government about our scores, the state of Georgia calls developing and above the passing scores. So that's where we get our pass rates. If you look down that chart, just like, let's say we look at 4th grade mathematics, you see right there in red, 95% of 4th graders were at the developing and above, or the passed that test in 2023. And then this past year, we moved up to 96.5% of those students. If you keep going across, what we like to think about are those proficient and above, right? We want to get our students to that proficiency level of proficient. And that is in 2023, we had 77% of our 4th grade students proficient in mathematics, proficient and above. And then this year, or the 2024 school year, it was 78.2, which put us at second in the RESA. Pass rate was first in our RESA. Just to give you a little bit of background for that chart when you start looking at it. I think we did very well in our RESA. Our math scores are looking good, as are I think our other ones, although it shows you where we want to start focusing, where we are focusing for this year. Lots of data that I'm showing you, so I know that you're very excited, because I was. So
Sure.
Keep going. Next, you'll see SAT scores on there. Again, I gave you some background, so you see state of Georgia in the column on the left, and you see Jefferson High School column on the right in blue, and then for the last 3 years. And then you can see that we're sort of progressively, the scores are coming up, kind of the opposite of what's happening in the state of Georgia, so that's a good thing for us. That SAT score, remember, is out of a total, a perfect score on the SAT will be 1,600. Below that, you see our ACT scores. We've just got those in this week. They were embargoed, I think, until yesterday. So those are the ACT scores have lots of breakout sections. I just am giving you here the composite, sort of an overall glimpse. It's out of a total score of a perfect score on the ACT, and the section will be 36. So we are, as far as systems go, we are 6th in the state for composite scores this year. SAT, we were 8th in the state. As far as high school, or systems goes, not
System
or high school.
Yeah.
That's right. Any questions about any of those scores?
Fantastic.
So then we see our graduation rate below that. I did give you the way the graduation rate is calculated. They look at cohorts. So when students enter in the 9th grade, that is the defined cohort. To get the graduation rate, they take the number of students who graduate in 4 years, and they divide it by an adjusted cohort. So they take that 9th grade entering class, they add in any transfers that you get in those 3 years, and they subtract out the ones that transfer somewhere else to get that rate. And you see that ours has come up. We're at 98.18% graduation rate, which is significantly higher than the state that you see there on the left. All right, any questions about that?
That's good.
Fantastic.
Will there be any adjustments if anybody else graduates later?
There is a 5-year graduation rate also that counts that same cohort group that comes through after.
Okay.
But we usually just share out our 4-year rate.
All right, that's fine. Thank you. That's very good.
The next thing you see there, we are, as you all know, we're in the middle of our strategic planning process, that 5-year plan. Tonight we have our community engagement meeting, which I'm leaving right after this to go down to the cafeteria. That's where we're going to be having it. It starts at 5:30.
For facilitator training.
Sorry, 6. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the right time. Yeah, 6 o'clock, I've got to get down there. We are training some facilitators before that, but Miss Lanita Jackson is coming, and Dr. Steve Barker will be there to lead that group. So that is right after this meeting. That process will continue for all of this year. We've got several meetings coming up after this. This is just the second one involving our community and parents. Next, you see the Safety Summit. We had that on Monday, and it was a professional learning schedule for, it's a professional learning day for our teachers. Our students were still at home. We went from 8 o'clock to just after 12, maybe about 12:30, and it was a really huge success. We had 5 stations where all of our teachers and paras cycled through those 5 sections, and they were 30-minute sections. We had Kevin McCook come in and do a safety awareness with Tom Parker. That was just on observational skills, things that teachers needed to be not just looking for in a classroom, but also if you're just a lot of what they learned on that day were things that applied even outside of that. If you're in any big crowd at a big football game, or if you're at a concert, or in a restaurant eating. So that first section, safety awareness, was about just observational skills. Then they all got to do some stop the bleed training, which everybody found very, very worthwhile. We had Tyler Murphy from Jackson County EMS that led that, with a lot of other people, because they actually had to get down on the arena floor and learn how to. Actually, you could talk about this more than I will. So, then Dave Shanks came in and did a behavior threat assessment and management that we have teams set up at each of our schools, and our teachers got to learn about what that meant when we have behavior threat assessment meetings. Abby Bickerman spoke on the opioid crisis and what that means for teachers in the classroom, what the students might be going through. And then Ben Stevens from West Jackson Fire Department led the first part of the CRAZE training, the citizen response to active shooter events. And that is the avoid, deny, defend training. And then Brad Sparberry came and spoke on building resilience. It was just that was a great set. Everyone has been really, really happy with what they got to learn from outside experts on Monday. So we were very excited about that part. And Lisa was able to attend those sessions as well.
Very good. Thank you. I've heard nothing but good remarks about that.
Good. Then in next week is our bus safety week. Each school's taking a day where they're recognizing our bus drivers. That's going on all week. And congratulations to you guys for being recognized and awarded your 2024 Exemplary Board recognition. You guys have received this every year, I believe, since it started. Is that right? And you will be recognized at the annual conference in Atlanta. I think that recognition is on the Friday agenda. Be sure you're dressed for that. You're going to get your pictures made that day also. So that conference, remember, will go. It's on that Thursday and Friday, the 12th and 13th. The pre-conference will be on the 11th. Then we have our Partners in Education workshop, which is on November the 6th. It's from 7:30 in the morning to 9:30. It's a regular breakfast meeting. It's out at the Ag facility. And it really provides a way for us to connect with local businesses and how we can partner together with each of those. Our Veterans Day ceremony is on Monday, November 11th, here in the PAC. It is at 9 a.m. right, Jenny? And we hope that all of you can attend that. The fall board retreat is November 14th and 15th. Please put that on your calendar as well. We're already making arrangements for that. So if you have any items that you're interested in being on the agenda, they could talk to Dr. McMullen or Mr. Moore about that. That would be wonderful. And we do not have a technology update. Miranda wanted me to be sure and say that she's not asking for anything.
I was going to say that's not all bad.
I thought y'all might be excited to hear that. She is down in the cafeteria right now, setting up for that community engagement meeting. I know that was a lot of information. Do y'all have any questions?
It was good information. Thank you for your.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. I do want to mention about the school safety. I will say this tonight, so you'll hear this, but we had Ben Stevens meet with all of our bus drivers on Tuesday to do the entire CRAZE training session, and I think that was well received. So thank you, Mr. Weaver, for allowing us to bring him in to do that, and I think it's going to be something that's very helpful for our bus drivers.
And I've only heard great things about that training because it was more in depth than what we got on that day. And the drivers really appreciate the information that they can use not only doing their job, but in other areas. So thank you.
All right. Anybody else else have any other questions?
Well, I may say too, that all the scores that we just looked at, it was a lot of data, but it's unbelievable. Great job. Fantastic. And on the ACT, I was thinking 6th in the state as a system, but I think 2 of those 6 systems were small, specialized, not conventional systems. So really 4th. Really 4th. Yeah. It's incredible. Thank y'all. And also, as far as our little award, thank y'all for all the work y'all put into that too, because that's a lot of work.
Okay. Any other questions here or comments? Thought you did great. Facilities report.
Sir. Just a quick update on the middle school. The front area, admin, library, and classrooms, block walls are 80% complete. The MEP in-wall rough ends are 80% complete. Steel columns, beams, and lintels are 80%. Roof joists just came in yesterday, and they were actually putting them up today. So they're moving right along there in the front. If you haven't driven by, you'll see a big difference over the last couple of weeks. So it's really starting to come together. The one area that you don't see that they're working on is the new gym towards the back. Block walls are 25% complete there. A couple weeks behind, and they set it up that way. Mechanical, electrical, plumbing, in-wall rough ends are 25% complete. So we are moving right along. I do have a few pictures. This first one is right there in front of the school. You'll see there on the right-hand side, those tall windows is the library. And right there in the middle will be the main entrance, and on the left-hand side is the admin. So
that'll be the new front entrance.
New front entrance, yep. It's really facing the four-way stop right there.
I was going to ask you to orient that as far as on the ground.
It took me, I was under the impression it was going to be facing the academy front, but it's a little bit tilted. It's right at the four-way stop, so it's and that right-hand edge really it's a big area right there. So it's, as you see it being built, you realize how it's going to look. Moving on, I've got a couple others. Right here is the media center. You see on the top right-hand corner, those are the windows. We're standing in the media center looking out towards the front, and then some offices there on the left-hand side that they're working on. And this is the admin hallway right here. So, like Kim said, they've been blessed with some really good weather, and they've taken advantage of it. It's great to see.
We're teasing about the blue skies.
I know. Like a
It almost looks like it's a place in Boston, a picture.
Yeah.
Photoshop.
Yeah, Photoshop, yeah. It'll be worth it, right, Caroline? It'll be worth it. Very much. I'm very excited.
A couple other things, track update. They have completed the track, conducted a walkthrough earlier this week with Hellas, myself, and Coach Navis. They were starting the striping on that day, but the track surface is complete. Several items that Bill had identified to the Hellas folks that need to be addressed. The fence posts on the visitor side, they need concrete. We had those moved. It was kind of a sharp turn, and when our band tried to get their equipment onto the field, it made it difficult. So we pushed that fence line back a little bit, to give them a little bit more radius to be able to make that turn. They've got to put those in concrete. We did notice a drop level near the start line. So in the chute area on the straightaway there you're in the sitting in the stands looking at the field far left, coming out of the chute right there. There is a drop in elevation. It's slight, but it needs to be addressed. So
that means they'd have to run uphill.
That's lane one. You got a little bit of an incline. It's slight, but I would imagine it would make a difference. But and then some asphalt cleanup behind the visitor bleachers needs to be addressed as well. So they were looking into those things here in the next few days.
Brian, I've been out of town a good bit here the last few weeks. We just haven't had a good rain because it looks really, really good. But until we get a good rain, we're not going to know as far as the last payment. Kim, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, great point. Bill brought that up to the representative from Hellas.
Yeah.
You know, if when we get that hard rain, we want to be able to get you guys back out here to address some of that.
I mean, it looks great right now to the naked eye, but you don't know for sure until you get around.
And we have like 500,000 right now outstanding.
Okay.
They put a pay request, I think it was 377, that I'm holding, waiting to release that, because we'll actually get a little bit of a credit if you guys remember, because of some of the asphalt stuff that they were able to regrind something, so we'll actually get a little bit of a credit back. So I want to make sure, like you mentioned, that we're holding enough to encourage any work that may need to be corrected.
Was it, y'all remember in the contract there on the old scoreboard end, which I guess is still the scoreboard end, that drainage in that ditch behind the old rock right there going toward the long jump, that has not grown in well. Was that in their contract to get that grown in or not? I mean, they shaped it and put down some mat and seeded it, but it has not come up well. Is it? We need to look to see if it's their responsibility to get it grown in or not. I mean, they shaped it well, but we just need to make sure if it is.
Okay. Follow up on that. Okay, a couple other things. The maintenance department has used this last HVAC unit, and we'd like to purchase a barred unit to have on hand. We've got some units across our system that are 25 years old, Russell will tell you, and we've had to replace a few here this fall, and just without having one on hand, feel a little bit vulnerable. So we'd like to. That will be an action item here shortly. And then elevator door locking monitoring. This is in the JHS main building, the older elevator that we have. There's a safety code requirement called DLM, which monitors and prevents automatic operations of elevators with faulty door contact circuits. The system monitors the door position, hall door lock, and gate switch operation to ensure no ground or short might cause an unsafe situation for passengers. And this requirement goes into place January 1st of this year, and I got the memo that the insurance commissioner sent out about a year and a half ago. So we'll see this as an action item as well. Get this installed. And then the last thing is Mr. Weaver mentioned propane contract for buses. We're asking to enter into a contract with Folger Gas. This will be a 5-year contract at $1.70 per gallon for the initial 3 propane buses, and then a 7-cent reduction in rate for every 3 additional buses that we operate.
I'm sure we'll probably get into a contract, but is that a guaranteed rate for the 5 years? $1.70?
Guaranteed rate, right?
Well, that's a good rate.
It's going to fluctuate some based on the cost. It's going to fluctuate some, but the 170 is guaranteed. It's the taxes, so that it won't be like 170 like we're going to the fueling station. It will still vary some based on the taxes and the minimum rate. The minimum.
The rate that we pay with $1.70 plus any of those other things.
Right, the minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moore, thank you very much. Anybody else have any questions about any of those things on the facilities report? And then we'll move. You want to mention about the board retreat?
I will. Dr. Hicks mentioned November 14th, 15th. We will have the same format. First session will follow our board meeting on Thursday, November 14th, and then the second session will be that Friday. We definitely will have school safety, mental health. Those will be 2 items that are already on the agenda, but if you have some other things that you would like for us to add, certainly, send those topics to us. We're in the process of starting to pull together a draft agenda, and we'll send that out to you as soon as we have it ready.
Right.
Okay.
And also you want to talk about the winter conference?
Yes, the Georgia School Board's winter conference, again, December 11th through 13th. I think Ms. Carroll has been in contact with you about which pre-conference workshops that you would like to participate in. So she will take care of registration. That opens up next week. So we register for the conference, I believe, on Tuesday, and then she secures the hotel rooms on that Thursday. So once she has all of the reservations taken care of, as she always does, she'll have a packet for you, and we'll continue to provide updates as we have them and as this date or these dates approach.
Okay. Thank you. Now we'll go right on into action items.
Okay.
This is Russell's spare unit.
Yes, and it's cooling down, but we're going to get a spare one just because it will get hot again, right? So the first item is approved purchase of a barred HVAC unit from Mingledorff's. The cost is $7,189, and the lead time you can see there is about 8 weeks, and we have utilized every spare one that we have, so it'll be nice to have this one on hand. Being proactive, so thank you, Russell, for doing that. He's already gone. All right, so I'd like to make that in the form of a recommendation to approve the purchase of that unit.
There's a recommendation of the superintendent to have a motion that we purchase this HVAC unit, barred unit.
Motion.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by the hand. I will ask this, Mr. Moore, did y'all discuss, I know we talked last time at the facilities meeting that they're about changing from one vendor to back to barred units?
Correct. From Marvair to barred. Yes, sir.
So you got that accomplished. Okay, good. All right. Lighting agreement.
Okay, this is a lighting agreement with Georgia Power, and this is a continuation of the lighting project that we began, or we installed the lights back in 2023, the decorative lighting throughout our campuses, and this addition will result in $728 monthly increase to the utility bill. But the total amount for these lights, $235,000. Brian, do you have anything you want to add in terms of the location and?
Sure. So we've got the auxiliary road that goes behind. We just want to get that lit up, not necessarily with the decorative lights. So we've got 4 poles back there, and then about 23 others that will cover the front, the new front, and the side, which will be the parent pickup area. So this all in there with the banner arms, just like we have at the other schools, done by Georgia Power. And they just want to get this started. We've met with Kaysen and got all that worked out. They just need the agreement in place to get their infrastructure ready.
Do we pay them a flat fee up front plus $700 a month?
Yes, sir.
Is that what the 235 is?
Yes.
Okay. You've heard the recommendation that we enter into the Georgia Power agreement for lighting at the middle school. Ms. Knight would like to have it because she goes to work early and leaves late, so she'd like to have it lit up. So anyway, do I have a motion that we approve this lighting agreement? Got a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussions or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by the hand. Thank you very much. Door locks.
Okay, so we had 132 door locks at various locations at Jefferson Academy, the middle and high school, that we would like, we have switched out, and this is to prevent teachers there being any question of, with the keys of the doors accidentally being locked. So as we were doing, conducting some of our safety walkthroughs, and that has been an issue that was brought to our attention, and so we wanted to get these locks taken care of. Again, 132. They're about $300 each. The total amount is $40,501.56. I know Brian has worked with our safety team. Do you want to add some additional information about this item?
These locks automatic, I mean, they are lockable from the office or wherever.
They stay locked. So if I wanted to get in my classroom, I open the door, I can walk in, but when I close it, it automatically locks behind me. So there's no, did I lock my door back? There's none of that. We take the guesswork out. They're called storefront locks. And we've talked with Craig on the doors that we put in place in our classroom doors. We want these types of locks all the way through. So
and they will put those in the middle school bid.
Yes, sir.
That's in there, rather.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So these are for others that have been left out.
That's right. And just to replace, yes, we have replaced some, but these were ones that have been discovered when they have gone through their lockdown drills and, just making sure that those doors stay locked. That's one of the most important things that you'll hear Dave Shanks with GEMA talk about is locked doors is so critical. And, so this is something that I feel like is certainly a priority for us to get taken care of.
All right. You heard the recommendation of the superintendent that we adopt this lock program from DH Pace in the amount of $40,501.56. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second. We got a seconder down there. You're too slow, Glenn. Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor signify with that. Yeah, thank you.
All right, next we have the installation of the door locking monitoring system. Mr. Moore mentioned that here in the facilities report. This is to bring us, it's a code requirement. And so the total cost, the quote there from TK Elevator, total cost $11,968.30. So we would like to make that as a recommendation.
All right, do I, for the recommendation, do I have a motion that we adopt the installation of the door locking monitoring system at the high school elevator? Is there one on the one in the?
Those are newer, and they have that already in it. This one we have.
Yeah, it's been there a while.
Yeah, they struggle to find parts to fix it.
All right, do I have a motion? Motion. Have a motion. Is there a second? Got a second. Quicker that time. Way to go, Will. Have a motion and a second. Any other questions about this? Hearing none, all those in favor signify. Thank you. All right. Now this is the propane gas contract.
Yes, and again, Mr. Moore mentioned this in the facilities report. You have the contract here, $1.70 per gallon of propane gas for the first 3 buses, and then the reduction of 7 cents per gallon when additional 3 buses are added to the fleet. So I know that, again, Mr. Weaver talked about trying to get those buses on the road, and we're going to have propane to keep them going. So we would like to make this in the form of a recommendation.
I didn't mention it, but I'm assuming that the refill station is in place.
No, the refill station is not in place yet. We're still working on the infrastructure, but I have made arrangements with Folgers that we can go up to the Folgers site and fuel in the morning when routes are done until our infrastructure is in place.
Okay, and what do you lack on that? You got it, Mr. Moore?
So we're waiting on Georgia Power to run 3-phase power to that area. And then once we get that in, we'll go back with the grading, put in the concrete pad, which is required of us, and then they'll come in and put the tanks in. Correct. Georgia Power, I think Russell's kind of communicating with their engineer and our contact over there. They've got folks scattered right now.
I know it's not the same thing, but we're holding $235,000 of their money, so, well,
yeah.
Kim will be kind of tough on cutting that check until we get that 3-phase line in, because that's taking a long time. It really has. So maybe they'll get it in this next week or so.
Yeah. But we do have a plan in place, to make sure that once we start rolling the buses, we can.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you. Does anybody, have a motion that we adopt the contract?
Second.
And motion and a second. Any other questions or concern about this contract? Like I said, it looks like a very competitive rate. I'm sure y'all shopped it, but it's very good. And I think I've had some dealings with several propane companies, and Folgers has always been very top notch as far as the oil. I'm glad to see you going with them. Very good. No other questions? Hear none, all those in favor, signify with their lifted hand. Thank you. All right. Approve the line of credit.
Okay, Kim, do you want to provide a quick overview of this process that we've gone through to get to this point?
Sure. We submitted an RFP out to 3 local banking institutions and asked for them to submit a proposal if they were interested on Tuesday, the 15th, I guess. And we received information from Regions, Piedmont Bank, and Northeast Georgia Bank. And the rates range from 4.75, 4.6, and then Northeast Georgia came in at 3.85%. So we have for you to recommend a line of credit agreement with Northeast Georgia Bank for a not to exceed $2.5 million. Like I said, we can draw on that as we need it. We don't anticipate needing to make a draw probably until closer to mid-November timeframe, and probably have to assume a debt somewhere around close to December 10th to December 15th. So hopefully not longer than 30 days. So having said that, it'll probably cost us somewhere around about $8,000 to $9,000 in interest. And then the attorney's fees for Tread Siphon and his crew for preparing our legal documents and doing the closing for us, which we'll do that at the end of the month here in October. So we have before you the recommendation to enter into an agreement with Northeast Georgia Bank, who is the most competitive for that agreement, and so we can proceed forward and have the revenue to be able to pay our expenses until our tax proceeds come in.
I don't remember us doing this in the past.
We actually, the last time we did it was 2012.
Okay, so I am, okay.
We've only done it 2 other times.
It's a shame we can't loan ourselves the money from SPLOST temporarily, but I assume that's against the law.
Yeah, SPLOST unfortunately can't be used. You can loan operating SPLOST, but you can't loan SPLOST to operate. So you can go the opposite way.
You can go the opposite way.
Yes. We may have to go the opposite way.
Yeah, we may.
We may, right. But having said that, this is the way, and it has to be paid off by December 31st. So the debt has to be paid, which we're getting the tax revenue by then. So.
Which school are we putting up for collateral?
Yes.
Or which person?
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, we will do our best to mitigate any extra costs that we would incur in this transaction.
Okay.
Looking at the note, it looks like me and Donna are on the hook for
it. Get our blue pen out, right?
Yeah, get the blue pen out. All right. For the explanation, do I have a motion that we enter into this? It's a tax anticipatory note. Sometimes you'll hear the term TAN, and that's what it stands for. But most of us just look at it like a line of credit, and that's what it is. Do I have a motion that we adopt?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. Got a second. Motion and a second. Any other questions? You said it does have to be repaid by December 31st. So we'll hope that the city gets some tax revenue in pretty quick. All right. All those in favor signify with that lifted hand. Thank you very much. Well, it's also a place.
Public comment.
Okay.
It's a great rate. It's a great rate.
Yeah, we were very thankful, yeah. I think they're keeping it local. They're loading it locally, yes. So that's why they really make the difference.
All right. Now we have on the agenda any public comment. Anybody have any information that they would like to enlighten us with on public comment? All right. Hearing none, we'll go to our administrators and Ms. Knight, we'll start with you.
All right, well, thank you, sir. We have lots going on, lots of building and making decisions going on at our school lately. We have our National Parks meeting coming up. Next month, we're going to go back to California, out that way and see the Grand Canyon and those kind of things, which is always a good, fun thing. I believe Ms. Whitworth and Ms. Camp, Ms. Stevenson, and Coach Benson and Coach White are going to go to chaperones. I think they'll have a great time, and we'll get those in pretty soon. We enjoy having the Scotland kids come over. I think Mr. College went out to the outdoor classroom, and they've had some interesting things to say about snakes. I think that she shared with them while they were out there.
They were talking to the right person.
We have had band concerts and chorus concerts to end up the first 9 weeks, and we've celebrated some student successes and attendance. We had some training with our social worker for teachers who know how to report things and take care of that with a program Storm there. And we did enjoy the safety summit. I think our board officers did a great job of presenting that to our teachers. We've had our big fundraiser, the Blood Run, is coming up on Friday night. So if you feel like coming for a little run or a little walk, come on and join us tomorrow night. And sure to have a lot of fun. We have about 300 people pre-registered already, and usually we get about 100 that day. So really excited about that. So lots going on.
Thank you very much. Ms. Joyner, can we call on you next?
All right. Well, things are always moving at a very fast pace, and a lot of excitement in our building. We had our PTO fall kickoff at the end of September, and it was fun. Activities, food, silent auction for families and kids. It was a big success. We had a visit from the Scotland Exchange students, which our kids loved, and we enjoyed the safety summit as well. Our teachers are starting to settle in and get the groove of their new curriculum. And I want to thank you guys for the sidewalk outside our gym loop, because it's really smoothed things a lot.
Great, thank you. Always at the elementary level, when the Scotland students come over, there's always some really good questions.
Probably heard some great questions.
I have one second grader that I keep every afternoon. He said, "Did you know those Scotland students have to wear a tie to class every day?" He thought that was something.
Yeah.
They love it.
Surprising.
Yeah.
Was to him anyway.
It was to him, yeah.
Ms. Beckwith, while we're over on that side of the track.
We are having a good time in pre-K. We had a great turnout at our parent pancake breakfast. Each class ran at 85% or better of parent participation. So a parent came in, they were able to model in the classroom, the teacher modeled how to do an interactive read aloud, and then they came back and did a craft with their children, and then shared pancake breakfast with them. So a great way to bring our parents in, have fun, but also help them learn how to do an engaging read aloud. We spent the last 2 days at the STEAM Center. They've been learning about spiders and making spider webs, and they love that. Ms. French does an amazing job for our pre-K students. And then we're going to Washington Farms at the end of the month, and just having lots of fun and dressing up as scarecrows tomorrow. So you can come see some cute little ones tomorrow if you want to.
And probably learning something along in there somewhere.
They are.
Okay, very good. Ms. Ferguson.
Yes, so we had our Title I Parent Night back at the end of September, and we had a much better turnout for that than we have 40 students at Tybee right now, along with lots of parents and teachers, so they are having a blast. And then this coming Monday, we have our 5th grade Washington, D.C. parent interest meeting, so we'll start gauging interest on that.
How many students did you say are at Tybee?
Close to 140.
140.
Big group of kids down there running the streets.
That's when it turned cold, too.
But we also in 4th grade, before they left for Tybee, a lot of the classes had their celebration for the end of the first module for Wit and Wisdom. And the first module in 4th grade was all about the heart, both the literal heart and the figurative meaning of heart. And these teachers transformed their classrooms into operating rooms. Liz French came over and dissected some cow hearts.
Oh, man.
So it was a very fun and memorable day.
I'd say memorable.
For those kids. I did
Memorable.
not go visit during the dissection. So,
Very good.
I didn't participate in that.
It's better than bringing snakes.
Yeah, I know. And then one other thing I want to share. So, as you know, we have our student advisory council at all levels, and 2 5th graders came to me this afternoon, and they had prepared a presentation. And apparently at the last meeting, they were asked to be thinking of how we could make JA a better place. And so these 2 girls, on their way back to class, they said they were talking, and they said, you know, we have ideas, but we need to make sure everybody agrees. So over fall break, they created a student survey, and they created a Google Slides presentation. And they came in my office along with Mr. George and Miss Barrett. And you would have thought these girls were college students, the way they were speaking. And one quote that I just had to share, it was Skylar Pittman and Sutton Gurley with the team. Skylar said, well, what excellence means to me is that you guys want to make leaders, so we need to have an excellent environment to grow in. So that was their motivation to put out this survey. So thank you guys for putting that group into place and just inspiring these kids to be excellent.
Absolutely. Thank you, and they will present that.
They will. We can make arrangements for them to present. So yes.
With all that work. Ms. Hardy, everybody's been talking about your Scottish students.
I know, we've got them on the plane despite one not finding a passport. So we thought we were going to have one. Ms. Benson knows about it. Cap, I guess, or Ford decided to hide it. I'm not really sure, but we had to call the bus.
Just wanted to stay with the Bensons, you know.
We called the bus at racetrack, so they were able to stop it.
Oh.
I was trying to kid there, but it was nice. We figured it out. And one of the chaperones actually had to go to California for a memorial of her family. And so we were down to one chaperone, and I was like, I can't imagine this kid getting on the plane by himself, but it all worked out. I was going to volunteer to go to Scotland.
You were.
So it worked out. So thank y'all for that. It's a great experience. I'm glad we got it started back, and I didn't know it's only going to get better over here because we did have to pivot quite a bit with the hurricane, which was to Orlando, and ended up in Dollywood. And
did that go just as well?
They loved it. You know what they were disappointed in? The Kennedy Space Center. They one of the Scotland parents, kids' parents, some sort of in space. I don't really know those details over in Edinburgh, but anyway, so they wanted to get a souvenir for that parent, didn't get to. So they were disappointed in that. I thought they were going to say Orlando or Universal, but it was actually the Kennedy Space Center. They were disappointed in. So, but they did enjoy Dollywood, and they just loved the manners and the yes ma'ams and the pleases and thank yous too. So it was a great experience.
Okay.
Every time my phone rang, I was like, oh gosh, what's this one? But so good to see him get on the plane. So we had our homecoming court finally cleaned Friday night, and it looked beautiful. And congratulations to Lady DeWitt. She was our 2024 homecoming queen. She looked gorgeous as well. Volleyball won the first round of state, so they play Saturday at 11 home. So second round there, and then softball starts tomorrow at Montgomery County. Bill's gonna go to that, and I'm gonna get to go to, One Act, and so please come to One Act, because it's,
That's Friday and Saturday night and Sunday?
yes, and the, what do you call the backup people?
Understudies.
Thank you. The understudy performance is Saturday at 2.
Oh, okay.
There's that one as well. Ms. Alexander went to the dress rehearsal and said it was wonderful. So I'm excited to see that as well. One field trip that I did not volunteer for, that Ms. Colby took her kids to the waste management, and I didn't choose to go there, but just we have experienced, a lot of kids on learning, and the robotics team left today for their first competition in Dalton. So exciting times. Allison Neely was here today. Thank you, Trevor. Amazing, and Tommy Knight was participating, and so it's the teachers are really bought into that too. So I appreciate the support there. Allison Neely is wonderful. So thank y'all.
Very good. Thank you very much.
And I don't, is this from the high school?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sorry, I was 3 months late. Y'all gonna get first one.
All right, speaking of Trevor, how about what's going on with your department?
Yes, sir. Things are great. Just so thankful for the work my team is doing to support all these schools, all these principals. They're doing an incredible job. Really, one thing to share, October 29th was our first parent partnership meeting for special education parents this year, so we'll have that in the central office. And we always enjoy that time. And we usually have quite a bit of parents that show up and really have great conversations. So we're always looking for room to improve and share things that they may or may not know about. So it's a good time for all of us to have a conversation and form those relationships.
Very good, thank you. Is there anything else? I don't think so. Okay, we're going to have a short executive session before we go down to the cafeteria. Okay. All right, I don't need a motion to adjourn. We're now adjourned, and I'd like a motion to go into executive session.
I move. Second.
In a second. Motion and a second. All